So, hello Green Room families. I'm here to share with you a very important aspect of our classroom that I'm going to ask that you actually build from home. In here, we will be participating in reading. We will be involved in enrichment, acceleration of our learning, and then finally discourse. Let me explain. So English language arts consists of about 45 standards for third graders and fourth graders. Well, I'm going to focus heavily on the 19 reading standards, and they're in literary text and informational text. While I try to bring in as much learning as I can into the classroom, these 19 standards are pretty significant for us, and we're going to have a variety of goals within each. I only get to see you for an hour, and as you've already realized, while you're on the schedule to see me every day, it doesn't happen. So we need to make the most of our time together when we get it. Now, for enrichment is about extending the experience with more depth and complexity. We'll be doing a lot of deeper thinking in here. Our goal is to, of course, enhance and investigate. And that's what we'll do through reading. Acceleration, on the other hand, is speeding things up. We're going to move quickly through many things. One, because we don't have a great deal of time. And two, because we want to cover the basics as quickly as we can so we have more time for that enrichment. Discourse, then, is about discussion and having conversations. And that's a fantastic thing to do about text. But again, it's going to take a great deal of class time. So rather than spending our class time with repetition or with perhaps doing things that you don't need as much time to learn, I will be compacting our curriculum a little bit. Parents, if you're interested, the National Gifted Association has a great deal of information about curriculum compacting. For me, it's about compressing things if we can, and then giving ourselves time again to do that enrichment and that extension. So, how am I going to be able to do this? Well, while I want us to have a lot of time for higher level thinking and more open-ended thinking, there are certain things that I'm still going to need to make sure that everybody knows and understands. Whether it be basic literary definitions or concepts related to text, I don't want to spend our class time teaching children these foundations. So, I have a comprehension notebook that you're going to create for yourself, and it's going to become a resource for you to use with the definitions, with examples, with information that you will need for your learning. Here's how it works. Third grade and fourth grade each have 9 different lessons. And you're going to get a composition notebook with a copy of this in the front. This is then an address to get to access video lessons from home. If you have any trouble accessing them, please let me know. Again, third grade, fourth grade. Now they are numbered in order because you're going to be building your own notebook. The first thing you'll do is you'll provide a table of contents. And this is where you're going to list each lesson. For each lesson, there will be a packet, depending on the lesson. You will get 1 packet at a time. I'm not going to give you all 9 at once. So you'll get your packet, and then you will access the video lesson. So here is the page with the tiles on here. So again, third graders will work their way across. And you'll see the lesson title, and then the lesson titles will be on your packets as well. So when you then click on the video, I'm going to tell you, these were made a few years ago. They're not super exciting. I realize that. However, they are quite important. When you play the video, you're going to hear that specific information that you need.
This video lesson is going to set us up for genre study.
I'm going to show you the best way to put it in your notebook.
Into two.
Put it on pause. I'm going to show you the best way to get these pieces fit into your notebook. I'm going to encourage you to color them neatly, but also color them lightly. I will not be giving you a color version. If you color too dark, you can't see through to the resource information. If you choose to leave it black and white, that is up to you. You want to be careful about how you're trimming your information to fit in your notebook as well. As you're listening to the video, of course, you can pause at any time. You are also going to find points in the video where you will be given some very specific directions on adding information of your own. Don't think you can just cut everything out and pop it in. This is intended for you to create this tool or this resource for you. And when you bring it back to me, I will be checking to make sure you're not missing any pieces and to make sure if there were special directions given in the video that you have in fact followed them. Now, you will notice in the videos, the page numbers at the bottom will not be the same as how you'll be putting them into your own book, and that's because I've changed some things up with the way that I do things. When you finish, you'll bring your entire notebook back to me so that I can do a quick check and I can give you the next packet. Now, like I said, there are 9. Some are longer than others. They will take you more time to do. Others are shorter. You have until the end of the first trimester, which is about November. However, I encourage you to get started on this right away. Don't procrastinate. Because what you'll find is November will creep up on you, and by then you will have other expectations with homework. Just starting out, 3rd graders, this is all you're going to have, so I encourage you to get going on it. Parents, when your child works on their notebook, I've got a request. I do ask that they use regular white glue and not a glue stick. I know that sounds crazy, but here's why. Glue sticks peel very easily, whereas white glue, if you do a tiny dot in each corner of what you're gluing in, it will hold much better. I did these about 4 or 5 years ago and they're still holding strong. Tape tends to get sticky and pages stick together. Boys and girls, if you're putting your glue on, again, just tiny dots in the corner, and you want to make sure that your pages are dry. You might need to take a tissue and wipe it off. If you don't, guess what? Your pages are going to stick together and you're going to have to really peel them apart, and then that ruins the information for you. So keep in mind, these are your resources. We're going to be accessing the information as we do learning throughout the year. So you want to make sure that if I tell you to look at a text and let's look at if it's a 3rd person limited narration, you have an idea of what I'm talking about.